Inflation made simple. How it impacts your daily life. Have you ever noticed how the same amount of money buys less over time? Maybe your grocery bill seems higher than last year, or the cost of fuel just keeps climbing. That's inflation at work. But what exactly is inflation, and how does it affect your daily life? In this video, we'll break it down in a simple and clear way so you'll finally understand how inflation impacts your money and what you can do about it. What is inflation? Inflation is the rise in the general price level of goods and services over time. In other words, as inflation goes up, the value of money goes down. That means the same dollar, pound, or naira buys you less than it used to. Think about it this way. If a loaf of bread cost $1 last year and today it costs $1.20, that's inflation. It doesn't mean every single item gets more expensive at the same rate, but on average, the overall cost of living increases, causes of inflation. So why does inflation happen? There are a few main reasons. First, demand pull inflation. This happens when too many people are chasing too few goods. Imagine holiday shopping season when everyone wants the same product. Prices shoot up because demand is high. Second, costs push inflation. This is when the cost of producing goods rises. For example, if oil prices go up, transportation and manufacturing costs increase, and businesses pass those costs on to consumers. Third, built-in inflation. This happens when people expect prices to rise in the future. Workers demand higher wages to keep up, and businesses raise prices to cover those wages. It creates a cycle that keeps inflation going. How inflation affects you. Now let's talk about what this really means for you. Inflation reduces your purchasing power. That means your salary might stay the same, but the amount of things you can buy with it shrinks. Inflation also impacts your savings. If your money is sitting in a regular account earning less interest than the inflation rate, you're actually losing value over time. On the other hand, if you have loans or debts, inflation can sometimes work in your favor. That's because you're paying back money in the future that's worth less than when you borrowed it. And then there are investments. Some assets like stocks, real estate, and commodities often rise with inflation, although not always evenly. Real-life examples we've seen inflation throughout history. For example, in the 1970s, the United States experienced double-digit inflation that made everyday living much more expensive. More recently, after the COVID-19 pandemic, many countries saw sharp spikes in inflation because of supply chain disruptions and increased demand. On a personal level, you may have already noticed inflation at your local supermarket. Maybe your favorite snacks, rice, or cooking oil cost significantly more today than just a year or two ago. That's inflation in action. How? To protect yourself. So how can you protect yourself from the effects of inflation? First, budget wisely. Keep track of your spending and cut back on unnecessary expenses. Second, look for savings options that keep up with inflation, such as high-interest accounts or inflation-protected bonds. Third, diversify your investments. Don't put all your money in one place. Spreading it across stocks, real estate, and other assets can help you stay ahead of inflation. Finally, invest in yourself. Keep upgrading your skills so you can earn more, negotiate better pay, and stay financially secure even when prices rise. In simple terms, inflation is the steady rise in prices over time, which reduces the value of your money. It affects your savings, your salary, your loans, and your daily expenses. But by understanding how inflation works, you can make smarter choices with your money and protect yourself from its impact. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who wants to understand how inflation really works. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.